What's up guys, it's Taylor and I am back with another video. You already know the deal if you read the title. Today I am recapping episode 7 of the Challenge Total Madness on MTV. Without further ado, let's just get into the episode. So the episode starts off basically with everybody coming back from last challenge, the whole Fast and the Furious challenge, and then I believe the Tribunal was picked. So it was Jordan, Nani, and Jenna. And Nani says that she picked Jenna to be in the Tribunal because of, everything that went on last episode with Zach and everything like that. And I don't know if she did it to kind of keep, Jenna from just going home, or if she did it, because that's her friend, she wants another friend in the Tribunal, whatever the case may be. Those three are the Tribunal. So Nani, Kayla, and Jenna, they're sitting around there talking, and Jenna says that she, kind of wants to go into elimination. Her thing, her whole thing is that she doesn't really want to, her mind isn't really there, she doesn't really want to be there because of what's going on with Zach, but also, if she's gonna be there, she wants to, have a purpose. She wants to know that she's there because she's a good competitor and she can win. So she's just talking to Nani and Kayla about that. So they talk about nominating Jenny, and this was funny to me. They talk about nominating Jenny because, she already has her red skull because she beat Jen, and they say that she's like skating along and stuff like that. I mean, she hasn't been, well, I think she was in a Tribunal. I'm not sure, but she, other than the red skull and maybe being in one Tribunal or whatever the case may be, she hasn't really been making any noise. She's kind of been quiet, but that doesn't mean she's skating along. I mean, she has a red skull. Why would she doesn't seem like the loud type anyway. So why would she, just what does she have to prove? I thought that was interesting that they said she's been skating along, so they want to throw her in. That was odd. So Bailey and Anissa also talking about the Jordan situation that happened at the challenge. Anissa also brings up to Bailey that she doesn't know that she doesn't know if the Holy Trinity, or Nani, Kayla, and Jenna, she doesn't know that they have her back. So she's kind of worried about that. Her and Bailey are kind of talking about that. And then we see Nani, Kayla, and Jenna kind of tell Kyle, Wes, and Bananas the plan, and they're talking about that. So next up, is the house meeting, the house noms, house nominations or whatever. And Tori, she starts things off. She says that, she wants to go in and she wants to get her red skull. Yeah, she wants to go in and get her red skull. Everyone pretty much, I wouldn't say they're in agreement, but they give it to Tori. Everybody nominates her. She is the house nominee. Nelson, he takes this time to apologize to Anissa for how he talked to her at the challenge that they had just did. And honestly, I think that's very big of him to apologize to Anissa, because he definitely was out of line last week. I don't know why he was wilding. I don't know why he was yelling at her and making her cry. It was completely unnecessary. Even if he was frustrated, he didn't have to go about it that way. He could have pulled her off to the side. So he took that time to apologize to Anissa, and Anissa accepts it. So after that, him and Kayla actually get into it. Same meeting, him and Kayla actually get into it, and it's kind of weird because he just had this whole thing about apologizing to Anissa and how he talked to her, but then he starts going below the belt with comments against Kayla, calling her, a slut and everything like that. Completely unnecessary. Like I said this last week and I'll say it again. Nelson, he always does this. He just causes drama that doesn't need to be there. Unnecessary drama. He's a good competitor, okay? He's not, I wouldn't say he's elite, but he's a good competitor. He can hold his own. He does well in eliminations. We've seen him in a final. He does okay. He's a pretty good competitor. I don't know why he doesn't just let his competition skills speak for himself. He always has to cause unnecessary drama, and he's doing it with Kayla. So they go back and forth, and basically I think the meeting ends at, well, before that, Bear steps in and he defends Kayla because, of course, but even if Bear and Kayla didn't have that whole thing going on, anybody stepping in and defending Kayla, because Nelson, it was completely unnecessary, completely below the belt. He was out of line. He was definitely out of line. It was disgusting. I'm disappointed in him. I hope he learned from it, but we'll see. But yeah, that was completely over the line. Bear steps in, defends Kayla, and Bear and Nelson kind of go back and forth a little bit. But anyways, the meeting ends because Tori's the nominee. There's nothing else to talk about. The meeting ends, and then the guys kind of all sit around after the meeting, and they talk to Nelson and like, bro, like, this is completely unnecessary. Even Corey, who is Nelson's best friend, says that you can't be doing stuff like that. Like, you can't do that. And it was a mess. Nelson was definitely wrong, and so the guys, you know, they sit around and talk about that. After that, we see Bear and Kayla once again. They kind of meet up after the meeting, or the house meeting and everything like that, and once again they're back to flirting. I think Kayla's just appreciative that he stood up for her, and you know, I guess that kind of ignites the whole flirting thing again. And yeah, so we'll see where else that goes this season, but that's what happened. So next we have everyone, they're going out again. You know, everybody's getting ready. They're going to the club and everything like that, having fun, drinking. We see Nany and Casey kind of flirting, you know, talking and everything like that. Interesting because we haven't really seen much of Casey this season aside from explaining the rules to every challenge. We really haven't seen Casey say much this season. So this is kind of like, not an introduction, but you know, we get to see more of her. I mean, so it's in a fight, but you know, we get to see a little bit more of her this episode. Casey, you know, she makes a point that she does have a girlfriend back home, so it's not gonna go any further with Nany, even though they're kind of flirting, you know. I mean, there's probably attraction there, but like she said, she has a girlfriend, so it is what it is. We also see Swaggy and Bailey talking. Swaggy's, you know, just telling Bailey, hey, I want you to make smart decisions, you know, here. I don't want you to do anything that could cause you to get thrown in or have the house looking at you crazy, so I just want you to make smart decisions. He's looking out for his wife, you know, and you know, I feel like that's a good thing to do. Bailey and Jordan, they end up talking things out. You know, Bailey tells him how she feels, and she says that, you know, I thought that you weren't really trying at the last, well, at the challenge, because you did it so well with Nany, and the fact that you couldn't get it done with me, I thought that you weren't trying. And Jordan says that's not the case at all. That's not the case at all. I don't want you to think that I wasn't trying. I don't, you know, he says this in a confessional, not to her face, but he says that, you know, Swaggy and Bailey, they're two. You know, they're gonna vote together. You know, if one goes, you're gonna have the other against you, so he would rather not upset them. And so they talk things out and they hug it out, and that's good. It's good that they hug it out. I'm glad that they got that resolved. So after that, back at the whole Nany and Casey thing, they're still flirting. Anissa sees this, and Anissa feels the need to step in and I guess help Nany, not help Nany, but you know, tell Nany to calm down, what are you doing, and everything like that. I don't know, I felt two ways about this. I mean, a part of me felt like Anissa could have just minded her business, but another part of me is like, you know, if my friend was out here, you know, drunk, making a fool of herself, flirting with somebody who's in a relationship and everything like that, you know, I could see wanting to step in and be like, hey, you're looking crazy right now. But, you know, ultimately this leads to a little scuffle between Nany and Anissa, because I think Nany goes to the bathroom and Anissa's talking to Casey. Nany comes back, and I guess she's offended at the fact that Anissa felt the need to talk to Casey and everything like that. Nany's super drunk at this point as well. And, you know, Anissa's like, look, I'm not gonna deal with you, you know, throwing insults and stuff like that. I'm gonna walk away. I was trying to look out for you and everything like that. And I guess when Anissa's trying to walk away, Nany grabs her, and that turns into a whole thing. It's crazy. I mean, this isn't the first time. Well, I'm trying to recall a time that we've seen Nany drunk and acting like this. I'm pretty sure there are multiple times. I can't think of a specific moment right now, but you know, it's, I don't know. Maybe Anissa should have minded her business. Maybe Nany shouldn't be yelling insults at people while she's drunk. I mean, who knows? After that, Jenna comes over and she's even trying to get Nany to calm down. Like, Nany, you know, you're drunk and everything like that. Nany starts hurling insults at Jenna, who is, you know, a closer friend to her than Anissa, you know. So I it was, I don't know, it was kind of sad, you know what I'm saying? Because you could obviously see, you could see Anissa was hurt. You could see Jenna was a little hurt too. You know, Jenna was a little hurt because after they get back from the club, Jenna is sitting down trying to tell Nani what she did at the club. You know, Nani's got her noodles and everything like that. And Nani is still going at her and insulting her and everything like that. You know, then Anissa comes in the room and, you know, Nani threw her noodles on her. It was a whole situation. The next morning, well, Nani cleans up the noodles. I just wanted to point that out. But the next morning, Nani apologizes to Anissa, as she should, because I think she was wrong. And they get things sorted out, so that's good. Also, the next morning, Nelson apologizes to Kayla for talking to her the way that he did at the house meeting and everything like that. He was out of line. I'm glad he apologized, but Kayla kind of said it best in the episode. You know, this isn't the first time Nelson has gone at her or any other person, you know, and he keeps having to apologize. Oh, I'll never talk to women like that, or I'll never, you know, act like that, or whatever the case may be. And we see it season after season. And at some point, these, you know, apologies are null and void. You know, you're gonna keep apologizing for what? Just to do it again the next season that you're on. So, you know, I definitely understand Kayla feeling that way. Nelson, once again, was out of line, but I'm glad he apologized. At least he apologized and he acknowledged the fact that he was wrong. So that's good. Next up, we have the Tribunal. They're having their little meeting and everything like that. Once again, it's Nani, Jordan, and Jenna. They pick Big T, D, and Kayla. So basically, you know, once they get to the meetings and everything like that, Big T's a little hurt. You know, she says that she didn't really see it coming. She doesn't understand why people are going after her because, I mean, technically she's, you know, a layup in this game. You know, you keep people like Big T around, that way you can beat them in a final or beat them before a final, depending on how the game is set up that season. But yeah, you know, you usually keep Big T or people like Big T around, you know, competitors who aren't that strong. And, you know, she's just a little confused because, you know, and I definitely can understand that. You know, it sucked to see her crying and everything like that. I like Big T, you know, obviously she's not the greatest competitor on the show, but she's very entertaining and she actually seems like a nice person. And, you know, it sucked to see her cry, but you know, Jordan wanted a little kind of insurance policy in case, you know, things don't go Tori's way. So I understand why he had her in there. And like, once again, it kind of sucked to see Big T cry, but you know, it is what it is. Next we have D. She's in there because Jordan feels like he can't trust her from the last time. You know, if you remember, Jenny is D's #1 and she gave Jenny the elimination when it could have went to Tori, and that was a big thing. Apparently they shook on it and everything like that, so they weren't happy about that. But you know, Jordan tells D that's why she's there, because he feels like he can't trust her and everything like that. And then after that we have Kayla. Kayla is their friend, and you know, I think, you know, her whole mentality is, you know, if I have to go in, you know, and battle for the Red Skull, then I'll go in, you know. So that was a pretty short conversation. After that, we see Jenna on the phone with Zach once again. It's like a continuation of last week. I know I'm not the only viewer tired of this, but once again, you know, and I said this last week in last week's video, once again we see Zach being just disrespectful to Jenna. You know, like I said, it's not my place to speculate on their relationship, but when you put your business on air to, you know, just be in front of everyone, you know, on national television, you know, we're allowed to form an opinion on it now. I'll be the first person to say that I don't like the way Zach talks to Jenna, and him giving her an ultimatum saying that she needs to come home or else her stuff will be moved out and everything like that, and it's not their house, it's his house. It's completely ridiculous. It's disrespectful, you know, and it's very manipulative. It's very manipulative, you know, because it's like whenever he's on a season, we don't see Jenna acting like this, but whenever Jenna's on a season, you know, it's like Zach doesn't know how to act. It's like he can't be at home without her. You know, like I said, it's not my place to speculate on their relationship, but, you know, as I said last week, I hope that Jenna realizes her worth. And once again, I'll leave it at that. After all that, Jenna's telling the girls what happened and everything like that. Tori's ready to get a Red Skull. We also see D talking to Wes. D's ready to go in. You know, once again, she went in and won against Ashley, but, you know, if she has to go in against Tori, she's ready, and, you know, it is what it is. So after that, Now it's purgatory time. So Tori comes down, she's a nominee. The tribunal doesn't pick anybody because Jenna volunteers herself to come down and battle Tori. Now, this week's elimination is called Dust to Dust. So basically what they have to do is there's piles of like bricks and debris. Well, not debris, it creates debris, but bricks. And what they have to do is they have to carry these bricks up a ramp and they have to slam them over this grate. And the grate creates debris that falls into a wheelbarrow. When the wheelbarrow gets full, they have to take it to this bin that has a red line, and whoever passes the red line first with the most debris wins. So starting off, they're pretty neck and neck for a while. Jenna's strategy right off the bat is top tier. She's getting these bricks, she's throwing them, she's carrying 2 at a time, she's throwing them down, she's throwing them down. Tori, I don't know what her strategy is. She is trying to put whole pieces through the hole and everything like that. Jordan's going nuts. He's like, what are you doing? Stand up. Nani's like, stand up. Everybody is like, what are you doing? I was like, what are you doing? Not the smartest. She eventually goes back to, you know, the original strategy, which is just hitting the bricks and everything like that. But Jenna, she's creating a good lead for herself, but it's still kind of neck and neck. It's still kind of neck and neck. But, you know, basically they go at it for a time, and eventually they get to where they're filling their barrels up for the last time. They're filling their barrels up for the last time. And, you know, it's kind of like a race to the finish line. You know, like Tori said, it was kind of like a photo finish. It was basically a photo finish. They were going up there at the same time, and whoever got to their barrel first and crossed the red line, they were going to win. So basically, they're doing it for the last time. They, you know, have full barrels. They're going. Jenna kind of gets to the top of the thing before Tori. She empties her barrel, and her debris crosses the red line, and thus she wins her red skull. Jordan, he's not happy, he's yelling, but ultimately he comes down and he gives Tori a hug, you know, and we see Tori off for this season. Jenna has her red skull, and that is the episode for the week. If you made it this far, you might as well go ahead, like and subscribe. Thank you for watching my video. I'll be back next week with another recap. Until next time, peace out.